Howdy diddly diddly dandy there, chums. 'Tis I, Captain of the Steves, and today, chums, for you guys, in the viewerverse, these are my core gameplay overhaul ideas to improve No Man's Sky, perhaps in version 3.95 or version 4.0. So here we go. So first off, chums, we follow the Atlas path. To what end? To jump to another galaxy and do it all again, and then rinse and repeat that 256 times? I really wish they would address the gameplay loop. Maybe every single galaxy could have a different sort of mod applied, you know, like the PC mods, to make them feel a little different from one another. Because at the moment, although people say, well, I see a difference, I frickin' don't. I see patterns, and I see patterns quite a lot, and I've seen a lot of other people with the same sort of gripe that the actual universal loop just isn't one that appeals to them, because it seems too samey. I mean, that the differences just aren't here nor there. Add in some alternate end-ins or add in reasons to progress through each of the different dimensions, even if it means maybe reducing them down to perhaps 16. I did a video on a 16-dimensional idea where everyone is different. I put a card in the top right corner. So we've seen a massive, great big focus towards crossplay and towards multiplayer. Now, if you watch me play every single Friday and run the weekend mission with 3 of my chums inside of the verse as a 4-man fire team, you'll see that there's always something that goes a little bit astray or something that doesn't quite gel, especially for poor Mr. Kettle. Yeah, so check out my Friday videos of the weekend missions, but I'm hoping to see a lot more multiplayer variety when it comes to missions that we can run, maybe even personal lobbies, so you can hit them up so your own instance with your 4 chums you can run together. Because a lot of the times people hit up a mission and sit and hold it open for other people to join because there is no real matchmaking. Either implement matchmaking or have personal lobbies, but please add in more variety to Nexus missions. In the Outlaws trailer, it said Nexus missions in the top left corner. So drawing trailers, you always see in the top left hand corner things that Hello Games is hoping to add into iteration, like that one said smuggling items. Outlaw story, there's an arrow there, just in case you're not seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah, just have a look at those up in the top left hand corner, and one of them pops up that's rather curious. It says Nexus missions. I'd imagine it means to do with pirate running or smuggling or something to do with multiplayer pirate missions, yet it wasn't delivered inside of iteration. So maybe for whatever reason they had to hold on to it and delay it. But here you go, Nexus missions. It's up in the top left corner. So freighters, I love these freighters, but really all it is a mobile garage with a base built in it, which is great, which is fantastic. But it'd be nice to be able to actually customize these more. Add gun turrets of your choosing to them, perhaps. Maybe even change out some of the wing modules and things. So yeah, freighter customization. Overhaul. I'd love that. Heck yes, I would. And while you're at it, with the frigates, I love the frigates in the way that they level up. They're brilliant, pretty damn freaking epic. I'll talk about RPG elements later, so I'm not going to hit on this too much, but it'd be nice to be even able to customize the frigates slightly, or have a little bit more interaction with the frigates. Yes, you can go aboard them and you can repair them if they break, and you can send them on basic missions, but wouldn't it be cool if you actually send them away on an actual mission, to be given the option to board the actual frigate and go out on the mission with, say, the frigate lead, and maybe the frigate lead gives you an actual expedition that you need to do to help complete that frigate mission that little bit quicker. And maybe it could be like, you know, the expeditions that we have now where you pop badges. That'd be pretty cool. Little individual missions, go down, scout a planet, find resources. When you actually land on these frigates, you can actually meet the actual driver or the pilot, the capitan of said frigate. But if you want to go and meet him and the rest of the crew, these things are freaking barren. There's no NPCs to be found at any of these consoles. They just don't feel very fleshed out. I mean, the door's got an invisible block in volume there. Please, open it up, make it a little bit, you know, a little better. Heck yes. Okay, now everybody's freighter on the inside looks the same as well. It's like the bridges. All the bridges of every single freighter is the same. Yes, I've added a few things on here because I built on it, but it'd be nice to be able to choose different sort of bridge layouts, go for something that you're more accustomed to. If you're a Trekkie fan, have like a Trekkie type looking bridge and things. I've seen mods that do it, so hopefully they can put it into iteration. Some more freighter parts wouldn't go amiss. There were some found inside of the game files, wasn't there, like lifts and planters and things, so maybe there might be a freighter overhaul on way for base building. But yes, I'd like a freighter base overhaul. They've already overhauled it once, and in my opinion they may have made it slightly slightly worse. Right, so recently they added in like the station override chip, and they've added in the station core over here, but the station override chip does nothing right now. Now it does say here that flight path landing overseer, so perhaps it's going to affect flight paths. I have noticed that they've added a new line here. The third line is new about the surveillance link, so I'm wondering whether you can sever that or whether you can change the flight paths of ships. But we really need rhyme and reason for the override. Yes, give us the station override, let it work. That'd be freaking great. Heck yes it would. Righto, so next off is abandoned stations. Abandoned stations like this one and the actual systems are pretty darn defunct. I mean, there's no freaking entities here. There's no NPCs, there's no ships landing, there's no fauna, there's no nothing. So please add in a reason to go and visit these things. Yeah, maybe even add in some more lore inside of these. If you do find one of these Atlas stations, perhaps rather than be the remembrance lore, it could be something to do with the abandoned systems and why they've been abandoned, because we don't freaking know why they've been abandoned. So yes, give rhyme or reason to the abandoned systems. Maybe make this an end of game thing to do, since it does need the Atlas Pass free to open these doors. And you know, there's two, there's one either side of these. So yeah, make them a little bit more regular, those stations inside of here, the remembrance terminals. I don't know what to call them, maybe the abandoned station terminal lore. But yeah, add in rhyme or reason for the abandoned stations. And look at the screen here, it says welcome home. Will we get to own one of these, do it up, and maybe bring it back into life? I don't know, who knows? But I'm also coming across planets with droid fauna on. Now these planets with droid fauna on, they only have two droid fauna on these planets. I love it when I find a droid planet, or I used to, but now I'm like, well, whatever. You can see here, I'd already scanned this. I've already named this one Sony, and the other creature on here I've named Captain Steve, but it's acting like I haven't actually scanned them. I would just like Hello Games to do a massive, great big bit of polish to fix little immersion breaking bugs like these, because they've been in the freaking game for freaking eons. Please, Hello Games, please get this fixed. That'd be freaking awesome if you could. Heck yes. But there we go. Adding more droid fauna is another thing that I like to see. I'd like to see giant droid worms and an airborne droid fauna. That'd be pretty darn sick, wouldn't it? Heck yes, it would. Now, black holes. Black holes used to be a great way to navigate the universe and take swathes of light years off of your actual journey. Because before, when you used portals, you used to get portal interference. Well, we don't get portal interference anymore, people out there inside of the viewerverse. So I don't believe anybody really uses black holes in the sense that they were actually derived or used for originally. So maybe there could be some sort of interaction that you have when you jump through the actual black hole, rather than it just breaking your tech and covering some light years. Perhaps after you emerge from the black hole, you might encounter maybe a living ship merchant that sells you modules for your living ship. Or maybe you might come across one of those giant new Leviathans that you could add to your frigate fleet. So if you wanted, you could have a whole fleet of frigates that are living, you know? Heck yes, that could be quite cool. Or maybe even you have to save a Leviathan from some pirate poachers. That'd be pretty excellent if it jumps you into a pirate system. You know, those black holes, they could jump you into any system, and maybe it might have more rhyme or reason. Perhaps, like I mentioned, you might get modules for your living ship. At the moment, the living ship needs to have an overhaul as well, because you can't upgrade its storage, you can't get any new tech for it, you can't even put scanners in it, or upgrade its freaking, its launch thrusters. So it's very, very underwhelming in comparison to all the other ships, to the point where I don't use it. I don't use it for anything, not even storage. It's just there because I've got one. Yeah, but yeah, a massive, great big living ship overhaul that makes sense, and maybe bring in some lore for the living ships and why they're there as well. Again, that'd be lovely. Another thing is ship customization. Now, this one has been on my wish list for freaking eons. So go into this terminal, maybe you can scrap the ship, claim the parts from the scrap ship, and from it build up a repertoire of crash shipped parts that you can then assemble to create your own sort of ship. Yeah, and maybe have a ship merchant where you can sell ships. That'd be pretty darn sweet, rather than just scrap them. Anyway, I put a video up there to my ship customization idea in full. Righto! So next off, I would love to be able to visit all of the older planets and iterations that we saw during the IGN first and a lot of the interviews that Sean Murray did. And yeah, Executamondo, so if you don't know what I mean, like this one, this is Araya V. Yeah, what a freaking awesome planet this is. Now, it'd be cool. I mean, a lot of these seem to be scripted. I mean, look at the trees. Every tree is potentially different here, and every rock, every whatever. But yeah, it looks like there was a lot more going on these planets. Maybe we can't have planets like this. Now we've got base building, and we've got set biomes, and all that sort of shenanigans. Maybe we can't have things like this because of the multiplayer and because of system limitations. Well, maybe there could be a way to jump to places like this. You know that terminal I was at when I hit this up at the start? That's another type of remembrance terminal. Maybe put in some sort of terminal that warps you to systems of space like this. Yeah, so you can actually go to here. There's no base building, no multiplayer. It's a solo experience, and it's all scripted. And hopefully, Hello Games can use these as sort of, look, we're working on this, we're working on that, like a little mini experimental dimension for Hello Games. And you really can access it, maybe with an Atlas Pass level 3 card, and it's end of game type stuff. Yet again, this goes back to the gameplay loop and having that Atlas Pass 4 or 3 or whatever, just to give players that have done everything something else to do. Talking of more to do, Ariadne had a whole freaking story arc where she went missing. She went into an alternate realm that lived between realms, the void if you like, in space, and went aboard a dark freighter. The Ariadne that we see here on the actual Nexus right now, people, or inside the anomaly, they're an imposter. They're an imposter. This is all part of the summer lore and weekend missions that we used to run from about 2 years ago. And it still hasn't been finalised and looped back in and understanding how we go about rescuing or getting our original Ariadne back. Right, so I'd like to see a lot more RPG elements added into No Man's Sky. I would like to see things, the more you use them, the better the class gets. So rather than just upgrade the class using nanites, they actually go up the more you use it. So maybe if you have taken out some bad guys with your multi-tool, you know, predatory fauna, it goes up a class. After you've hit maybe 80 of them or something, it goes up. Or your ships even, you know, shooting down pirates, maybe the class goes up. It's the same with the wingman. At the moment, the wingman, you just pump them full of nanites and it goes up and says, yeah, confirmed kills is now 164. Well, no, they haven't killed 164. I've been with them the whole time. They were a freaking C class and I've just pumped nanites into them and their confirmed kill counter went up. I mean, what the actual fudge is that all about? I really wish that, you know, they went up based on the amount of kills that they've had. That would make more sense, just like your frigates. The more you use your frigates, the more they go up in class and the better they get. Even when you hit S class, sending them out on more runs actually improves the numbers and all of their stats. Well, that should be the same with your ships, your multi-tool, and perhaps even your exosuit. That'd be freaking ace, wouldn't it? I guess it would. It's like all these journey milestones that we've got over here. You could tie some of this into the S classing of items, you know? So anyhow, another thing is the faction. I mean, it says level 2. But these little pidgets, they are not lit up. I don't know which level I'm really on. I don't think it's fully fleshed out. I mean, yes, all the badges have gone gold, but level 2, that doesn't seem that high. It's not much higher than level 1. But that's as high as you can get it, or at least that's as high as all of mine have got, and I've been playing for over 1,000+ hours. And having these stand-ins doesn't do nothing. They don't give me a discount. They don't treat me any better. No, they don't. So what's the point? I would like to see a massive overhaul to faction relationship with inside of the game. I really would. Heck yes, I would. And it's like these over here. The Cartographer does loads now. Yeah, gives you loads of maps and all sorts. The missions agent. Everybody uses the mission agent. This guy. When did you last speak to the guild envoy? Add in proper guilds, player guilds, or even in-game guilds where you can actually sign up to become either a hunter or an explorer or whatever, and you align yourself to those. Maybe even put in expeditions aligned to these, or maybe have this guy as an expedition merchant rather than a guild merchant, and let us rerun the expeditions whenever we want from him or something. I don't know, but at the moment they're freaking useless. They're bloody paperweights. They're even at the archives. Why put them in the station and the archive if they do so very little? I mean, look, he's got guild business to attend to, apparently. What is this guild business? I don't get to see it. Yes, give them proper guild business, or add in proper player guilds, or do something else with them. Because at the moment, nobody uses them, nobody visits them, they're just there. And it's like this thing as well. It prints one freaking map. for 15 nanites. One map. Doesn't matter how much surveying and how much cartography you do on the planet and how much discovery you do, you're going to get the same freaking printed chart, and it just takes you to a relic site, which we can hit up on a scanner. So why freaking bother? Tie it to this thing here. So we've got this here, exploration guide. There we go. And it's a local information register, and it clocks up how much you've discovered. Well, the more you discover, perhaps add stuff on here to, like, I don't know, crates that are filled with modules that you can't buy anywhere, like really cool modules, maybe like the incinerator. I'll get to the incinerator later, people, because yes, I'd love to see that put into the game, but other sorts of modules too. Now, on planet surfaces at the moment, we don't get to see any pirates really. You know, we've got all these pirate scans in space and pirate systems and pirate stations, but are they on any planets? No. So where the fudge do they come from? Add in some pirate bases on planets, and add in NPC pirates that may attack you on foot or even in exocraft, you know, and maybe you have to bring out your exocraft to do battle with them to stand a chance of survival. That way people might start using their exocrafts a little bit more, and it might flesh it out a bit more. Just in pirate systems, you know, that'd be pretty darn sweet. Important announcement, chums out there in viewerverse, if you're liking what you're seeing with your eye peepers and hearing with your ear holes, please hit up that like and subscribe. It means a lot for the algorithm and a lot for my channel. I'm hoping to hit 25,000 subscribers before the meetup at the end of August. Yeah, that's a little way away, but hopefully we can do it, people. That's like 600 odd subs. Go on, if you haven't already subbed, please hit that sub. If you already have, share the video. Important announcement, over. Right, so next up, settlements. Now, I avoid going to my settlement now, people. I don't know whether you do too, but whenever I go there, I get a sentinel frickin' invasion like this, which is a pain in the frickin' butt, because I don't always have ammo on me. So I've got to craft some ammo before I can take them out. But wouldn't it be nice if we could put some defense turrets here? We know there's going to get attacked by sentinels. Some defense turrets and some of the roofs would be nice. Or even if we could train up some of the NPCs, and maybe they might actually come out with some multi-tools and shoot these down. I mean, I've got some Viking running around at my settlement. Yeah, arm them, you know. I've also got a load of Korvax. Why can't they make themselves some freaking turrets? Also, you can go over to the actual NPCs here and interact with them, and they might say that they need units or something. This one's got a word that I don't understand. Yet I know every single word of Korvax, but I can't even give him some units. I could have helped him. I would love to see little mini missions given by your NPCs here, and doing those missions, perhaps it gives you the opportunity to swap out some of the things that your actual settlement gives you. I mean, you get goods given to you by a settlement, but they're goods that you might not even need. Look, I'm just going to hit a knowledge stone just for freaking argument's sake, just to show that I know every single word of freaking Korvax. Korvax system, boom. Nothing new learned. So what the fudge was that word? This comes back to Hello Games improving some of the little mini minor bugs and hiccups, which I really wish they would do before they put in anything else, because I would love to see this all completed. Now, another thing that I like to see added in, like I mentioned before, is the incinerator module for everybody. You know, what a cool weapon this is. And it's even had the haptic feedback programmed for on PlayStation 5. So surely it must be coming into game at some point. Hello Games, please add in the incinerator, put in a load more modules for it, and while you're at it, maybe add in a few more really cool modules that you can't buy in stations, that you have to get rewarded somehow, maybe find in loot crates or whatever. But yes, I think there needs to be a loot overhaul, an RPG overhaul, a settlements overhaul, frigates and freighters overhaul. I would just like to see a massive pump of extra life and depth given to every sort of gameplay element, especially since this is coming to Nintendo Switch in October. I'm really hoping the next large update just focuses on depth and breadth of gameplay, make it more gamified. Now this is what I'm on about with these settlements. You've got like two commodities there. Yeah, I'll probably keep the activated idiom because that sells for freaking loads, but this stuff, the welding soap, no, I'd rather have something maybe like even silicate powder, because yeah, I hate using the terrain manipulator because you have to then fill it back in again, don't you, for base complexity reasons. Something else that I really liked that Hello Games added in were two new biomes that were fairly recent. They added in a swamp biome, they added in a lava biome, which, yeah, two new worlds, but why visit them? They haven't put any sort of biome related plants on here, and some of the things that they have added in, like these giant great big stumps, just look really janky, and they're on every single freaking planet that is swamp related, and every single lava planet has these sort of janky sort of volcanoes that are all copy and pasted shite. I really wish you could do something that's a bit more procedurally generated with these. During GDC 2015 you showcased some swamp biomes that looked more like Dagobah, and they looked amazing. I would like to see a lot more variety added to the swamp planets, a lot more variety added to the actual lava worlds. It's like the lava worlds, you could do like a tar spin-off, like a tar biome or an oil biome, and yeah, just mix it up a bit. I don't know, but they need some work. They look like placeholders and they feel rushed. So yeah, a little bit more of an improvement to those biomes. Anyway, people in Viewerverse, please put in the comments all the things that you would like to see when it comes to gameplay, depth and breadth. And until next time, people, you've been awesome. Goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye again. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit a like and a subscribe, and I'd like to say a massive great big thank you to all of my backers over on Patreon and over on YouTube membership. Thanking you, backers! And if you want to support this channel, just don't skip the adverts. That throws revenue down my avenue. Or yeah, just stay with Captain Steve that little bit longer and hit something on this screen. There's merch here now too.